Do you ever feel stuck trying to decide what you're going to offer in your tutoring business? Whether it's for the upcoming summer or you're in the middle of planning out a new session right now, I'm sure you've felt that way before. Some questions you might have asked yourself is, should you do one-to-one tutoring, offer a small group or a pod, or maybe a themed club? When I first started tutoring, I just took whatever came my way and I was not structured about it, and I don't want that for you. Once I figured out the best tutoring setup, everything got easier. I booked clients a lot faster and I made more money. By the end of this video, you'll walk away knowing exactly which offer is going to be best for you, and you'll have a plan heading into summer. Make sure you stick to the end because I know you want to book students, and I'm going to give you the exact roadmap on how to do it. Hey teacher friend, welcome back to my channel, and we're going to dive in today to what offers you could set up this summer so you can have a streamlined tutoring business that makes more money this summer. And I know I've talked a lot about TPT and tutoring and how they can be intertwined, and a lot of times TPT sellers have a slump in their store sales over June and July in particular because school is out. So I love the idea of figuring out a tutoring offer that can work for you to fill in the gaps, because it is my goal for you, no matter if you're a TPT seller or a tutor or both, that you have 12 months income inside of your teacher business and not just 10. So why does your tutoring offer matter? Why is it important to have this completely set up? Well, first and foremost, parents want clarity. They are not going to book a session with you if they don't even know what they're booking, if you're not clear on what you offer and telling them exactly what their child is going to be doing while they're working with you. Your offer, though, needs to fit your own lifestyle, your energy levels, and your own income goals. I know anytime that I've pushed outside of one of those three things, I've been burnt out and didn't want to keep going. So keep that in mind when I'm giving you all the options today. Grab a pen and a notebook and write down ideas that you'll probably get while you're watching this video, and pick something that's going to work for your energy style. Breaking down into simple options for your business is going to make it so much easier for you to market. If you're confused about your offer, then you best believe that your future customer is, and they're not going to put offer in the cart after they've thought about it and realize that they're really not sure what you're offering. So let's dive deep today. I'm going to give you 3 different ways to set up your tutoring business this summer. You might want to pick 1, 2, or all 3 of the options depending on how long you've been tutoring and what you have the capacity for. So keep that in mind. These are just going to be the options, and I'll give you some examples along the way. Option number 1 is tutoring one-to-one. We have to start there because that's what we think of the most when we think about tutoring. What is tutoring one-to-one? Well, it's personalized private lessons with one child at a time. Teachers like this when they can dive deep with students, because when we have a full class, we often don't get to do this. So this is perfect for a teacher who wants to dive deep, have customized lesson plans, and really get to see progress made on such a bigger level than it would in the regular classroom. Some of the pros of one-to-one tutoring: you can offer a higher hourly rate per student because you're giving them that individualized attention. If you think about a class of 25 kids and you were tutoring all of them together, let's say, versus just one, who is going to get more support? The child that's getting one-to-one attention. So you can focus 100% on one student's needs, which is truly refreshing as teachers because we have so much on our plates and we're given more and more to do every single year. So what a gift to be able to work with a kid one-to-one. And there's less classroom management. That's one of my favorite pros. When you're working just with one child at a time, you're not managing a whole group and getting people on task. You're just working with that one kid. Now, it wouldn't be fair if I didn't offer some cons to this as well, so you can really weigh out what you want to do this summer or whenever you're trying to build your offer. So the first thing is time equals money, and so we are limiting ourselves for trading all of our time. So let's say you have 25 people on your roster for tutoring. That would be amazing. But you're looking at anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour long session times 1 time a week or times 2 times a week, and there's only so many hours in a day. What if you had a group of one-to-one clients that was maybe just 12 and then the rest of your groups were pods? You could help so many more kids in less time, and I'll get to those offers in a little bit. Parents might be hesitant at a higher rate. Don't let that discourage you though on setting your rate. You have to decide on that on your own. I have a free tutoring income calculator. You can grab it in the description box below. It'll help you by doing all the math for you and figuring out what rate is going to work best. That's going to depend on where you live, and it's something you have to get really comfortable with. It's not something I can just tell you what to charge and then it'll magically happen for you. So get comfortable talking about your rate because you're going to have to. So an example of this, every example I give in this video, please do not take it as this is the rate I'm telling you, because I don't know your background. I don't know how long you've been teaching. I don't know the kids you're going to be working with. I don't know where you live. So this is just an example. But if I was tutoring one-to-one and a reading intervention, let's say 45 minutes, we'll go with that, once a week, maybe twice a week. If I charged $50 for that time, then I would be making at least $50 a week per that child, or twice, so $100. And then we multiply that over the month, that is $400, best case scenario for one kid for one reading intervention. Just an example, please remember that. I'm going to keep repeating that. Grab the tutoring income calculator, find out what rate's going to work for you. And I'm not saying these rates because it's what I charge either. I just picked some numbers. Option number 2, if you've been following me over on Instagram at Tutorpreneur Academy, I've really differentiated where I talk about tutoring versus my Molly Wheatley Instagram account. I've been talking a lot about pods because it's something I'm exploring for the summer, and I love working with a pod because as an elementary educator, small group lesson time is my absolute favorite. I make such a splash with lessons with a smaller group of kids, but you get the conversation piece of other children interacting, and the socialization part of it is just great, especially when we think about summer. So what is this? It's a group anywhere from 2 to 6 kids. I wouldn't do more than 6. Again, if we're thinking about a small group reading lesson inside of your classroom, you really wouldn't pack your teacher table with more than 6 kids. It just becomes overwhelming. There's not enough space. So you want to be able to work more hands-on in a smaller group as possible, and that's why I think capping at 6 is great. This is best for teachers who like collaboration with students and they want to make more money per hour. So I would recommend charging probably a little bit less than you would for your one-to-one rate because you are working with a few kids, but you're still going to make more than you would with just working with one kid. So even if we scale it back $5 or $10 per kiddo, do the math on that. I think you'll really like the numbers. I know when I've thought about it, it does make you feel excited that your expertise and your time is going to be well spent. Kids learn really well. So another pro is that they will learn well with their peers and that social interaction. And we know over summer, they have the summer slump. So what a great way for them to interact with kids their own age and get to have an expert teacher teaching them something that they wouldn't normally get over summertime. This could be seen as more affordable for parents as an option than one-to-one. So that's another pro, and it's something that you could definitely fill up a list for if you plan enough ahead of time. All right, some cons. So this is going to require some group management, a little bit more than one-to-one, but if you're a highly trained teacher, you have classroom management, it's not going to be a big issue. If classroom management is not your strong suit, then you might want to think about just one-to-one tutoring. Students might be at slightly different levels. We know the longer we teach, the better we get at differentiating. That won't be a problem for you, but I just wanted to include that. Of course, I'm going to give you an example for your pod, and remember, this is just an example, not what I'm recommending that you actually charge. But let's say you have 4 students in a math skills pod. Over the summer, you could charge, let's say, $35 per student times the 60 minutes each student will work with you each week. Do the math on that. You'll like the numbers. Okay, let's dive into my third option, which is one I'm going to be trying this summer and I'm really excited to talk about because I'm going to be working through it and figuring out how exactly this can work strategically so that I can share this with my Tutorpreneur Academy members. So a themed club or a camp is a structured but fun multi-week experience that you can offer. And me personally, I always thought that it would be so fun to go to a summer camp and thinking about like The Parent Trap and Lindsay Lohan.
Okay, found my dumbbell.
And I never got to do that. So it's not something that I want to offer as like a sleepaway thing or anything like that where somebody like goes somewhere for 8 weeks. No, but what you can offer is a multi-week themed club. And so I'll break that down for you. This is great for teachers who love project-based learning. I know I do. It's one of my favorite things to do in the classroom, and you can work on this all summer and you get to pick the theme and what you're going to offer. Some of the pros to offering a club or a themed experience is that parents love this because they love enrichment programs for their kids. We know summer slump is happening and we want our kids to not fall behind, and what better way to work with a highly qualified teacher inside of a club. You can set the price per the club, so that means no stress about cancellations, meaning you get paid upfront. If the kid comes, great. If they don't come, then they still are paying, and that's just a nice benefit for you and an incentive for them to actually show up. Of course, I have to go through some of the cons of this, and this is going to require a lot of upfront planning, but that's why you're watching this video now. You're going to get ready for your summer offerings so you know what you're going to provide. And I think once you start planning your club, you're going to like dive in and think it's so much fun. I know I have. And just the planning process, it's giving me a lot of life back during this time of year whenever school feels hard and kids are just like struggling with certain things. When you can look ahead to the summer and think about an exciting club that you get to be completely in charge of, it's going to help. You're going to need to have a strong marketing push for this. So this isn't really a con if you're anything like me and you love talking about marketing, but you definitely need to think about how you're going to get your name out there. This is something that I teach inside of my courses, but thinking ahead for you, you might want to have social media set up. You might also do like flyers, going to talk to schools. It just depends on what you're comfortable with, but knowing that some marketing needs to happen. And if you're not growing your email list, you need to if you're going to push a club. So the example, again, I'm not telling you what to charge, but let's say you were going to do a 6-week creative writing boot camp. Maybe you have a technology piece embedded into that, which I think would be really fun. And you want to charge $150 per student for that 6-week time times the number of kids that you can have. That will make you some pretty decent money and you'll have a great experience. You might even get to test out some Teachers Pay Teachers products. That's what I love about it as well. When I have a slump in my store, I know I can make a push in tutoring and get those products out and tested, get a lot of footage of them, and boost my sales for back to school time. So how do you choose the best offer for you? Well, you have a pen and paper in front of you, like I told you at the beginning, and now you've got to ask yourself a few questions, and I'm going to give you those questions. Ask yourself, do you prefer working with one student, or would you rather work with a small group? How much do you want to work this summer? More students equals less time spent per session. So if you like the pod feel where you can help a lot more kids at once versus one-to-one, think about that. Maybe you only want to work 10 hours this summer each week. So think how you could break that down into something that's going to work for you. What fits your lifestyle? You definitely have to answer this question. Clubs might require a lot more upfront planning, but they could yield higher profits. So kind of weighing the cost and the benefit analysis of that like we did in this whole video. So a pro tip I would give you is that you can absolutely mix and match. You could tutor one-to-one. You could also have a couple pods. Maybe you could have a club this summer. It all depends on what you want to offer and make sure that it really aligns with your capacity. Let me know in the comments below which tutoring offer sounds the best for you. I'd love to hear from you and see what you're going to cook up for this summer. And know that if you're on my email list right now, you're going to be following along for the rest of winter and spring. Every week I'm going to give you one actionable thing you can do inside of your tutoring business. I already dropped my own summer tutoring plan and I'm only sharing that on email. So if you didn't get that email and you'd like to, then you can grab the link in the description box below. Of course, anything I talked about during this video will be linked below. Tutorpreneur Promo Kit if you're looking into marketing. It's going to be your best friend. And if you want to land your tutoring rate, remember my free tutoring income calculator is waiting for you below as well. Next time we're going to tackle how to find the perfect students who meet your exact needs as a tutor and how you can grow your tutoring list before summer. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. You don't want to miss it, and share this video with a teacher friend who's looking to make money this summer using skills they already have. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.